up, y'all, and welcome back to my channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome especially. My name's Sally, and I am so glad that you've stopped by. I'm a certified nutritional therapy practitioner. I specialize in women's metabolic, hormone, and digestive health. These are three aspects of wellness that are very tightly tied together. And on my channel, I talk a lot about what it looks like to live a pro-metabolic lifestyle, and all pro-metabolic means is in support of the metabolism. And when we talk about the metabolism, we're actually talking about the sum of all chemical reactions in the body. So put that all together, and what I am promoting here, what I am talking about, is looking to live in such a way and feed the body in such a way that supports it at the chemical level, the most foundational level. So today what I'm going to be sharing with you is 5 pro-metabolic staples, 5 things that I recommend including in your diet every day, or at least every week. There's a little bit of variation amongst the different items that you will see, but to support your body on that metabolic, on that chemical level. Now, a couple things just to contextualize my approach and what we're going to be talking about today. I am a big fan of abundance, and when it comes to nutrition and when it comes to discussing what's going to be included in your diet, I like to take a constructive or abundance focused approach. So thinking about what we can include to meet our nutrient needs, as opposed to coming from a place of restriction. When we think about including foods that are really nutrient dense and really supportive in our diet, and when we do that more and more, we often find that there is less room for the foods that aren't as supportive in our diet, and it's a much healthier mental approach and just holistic approach than focusing on, what you can't have. I also think it's important to say that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to nutrition or to lifestyle. And while the foods I'm going to be talking about today have been scientifically shown to work with human physiology and be incredibly supportive, there are times where our bodies just can't handle certain things well. Histamine intolerance, or MCAS, mast cell activation syndrome, is one such example, and something that I think it's actually really important to bring up, because more and more people are dealing with this, and they'll find that when they eat certain foods such as maybe cooked meats or beef liver or collagen, they're experiencing kind of a negative reaction. And a lot of times this has to do with histamine overload in the body, or an improper, or we'll say an inability to detoxify all of it. So just be aware that not all of these foods might be supportive. I feel like I said that weird. Just be aware that all of these foods might not be supportive for every person at a given time. But if you're someone, for instance, who has been having like weird reactions to cooked meat, to really like gelatinous foods, collagen, beef liver, citrus is another one, coffee, that could be a histamine issue. This is something I see a lot in clients that we really work through, and I hope that can just kind of be a clue for you, part of the puzzle, and maybe knowing what to ask your practitioner about. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first pro-metabolic staple that I recommend eating every day, and actually basing your meals around, is going to be high quality proteins. Protein is so crucial, not just for building and maintaining muscle, but for cellular and tissue repair, for digestive health, for immune health, for just about every single function in the body. And most people really aren't getting enough. Bluntly, the FDA recommendation for, I think it's 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, is nowhere near enough. That's what you need to survive. And that's about it. It is not what you need to thrive. But if you want more details kind of on protein and figuring out what's appropriate for you, I'll link some of my more protein specific videos down below. Let me show you a few sources of high quality protein that I include in my diet just about daily. So first is going to be grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef. Ground beef is an affordable way to get grass-fed meat into your diet. Now, there is a lot of advantage for including whole cuts of meat, bone-in, skin-on cuts of meat in your diet. I'll talk about that here shortly, but if you're looking for an easy way to get high-quality meat in every single day, this is where it's at. You can get really good deals at grocery outlet. This is where I get this. If you have grocery outlet near you, Costco, you just have to look around. Walmart even has recently started selling really high quality grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef. Yes, it's more expensive, but how you have to think about it is that you are buying something fundamentally different from a composition, a nutrient composition perspective than grain-fed ground beef. And I do believe that it pays dividends. It is an investment and it pays dividends in your health in the long run. So another source of high quality meat that I like to include, especially if I don't have a lot of time, is actually from this brand, Just Meats. And it's all clean raised, as they say. So of course, no hormones, no antibiotics, pastured, or for beef, grass fed and grass finished. It is cooked with super clean ingredients, and then it is shipped right to your door. It is way cheaper than takeout, way cheaper than a restaurant meal, and of course, way higher quality than just about any meat you're gonna get at a restaurant. And literally all you have to do is pull it out of the fridge, throw it in a skillet. They give you these different delicious like simmer sauces or marinades to heat it up in, and it's like 2 minutes. You heat it up for 2 minutes and then it's good to go. You just throw it on your plate. Today for lunch, we had the chimichurri beef, actually, chimichurri steak, and that was very yummy. Lunch came together in less than 5 minutes, making that and a little salad to have on the side. So highly recommend you guys checking them out. A few other flavors I have here are their herb roasted chicken, or roasted chicken breast, and then smoked Texas brisket. I am so excited to eat this. They actually gave me a discount code. I'll put the link down below, and then if you use code JUSTSALLY, you can get $15 off your first order. So great thing to have on hand and to use, especially in a pinch. Of course, pasture-raised eggs are another phenomenal source of protein, incredibly high in things like choline and vitamin A, bioavailable vitamin A. We're talking about retinol. They have vitamin D in them. They have B vitamins. And then yogurt is also another good thing to have on hand, especially if your body does tolerate dairy well. I recommend a really high quality yogurt like this one from Costco. It's Bellwether Farms A2 Organic whole milk yogurt. There's nothing added, so no synthetic vitamins of any sort. It's from 100% grass-fed cows. But even if you're not buying yogurt like this, third staple that I recommend eating daily, or actually in this case more weekly, is going to be liver. Liver is one thing that most people in this modern society are not used to eating. It sounds a little bit gross. It definitely took me a while to warm up to it, and I still don't like eating it outright. I find ways to sneak it into my meals, but it's truly one of the most nutrient-rich foods out there. Yes, it is rich in iron, but even more notably, it's really rich in copper and in retinol, that bioavailable vitamin A, two nutrients that are absolutely crucial for proper absorption of iron. And something we actually find is that most people, many people who are having iron-related anemia problems, are actually more having retinol and copper problems. You need all three of these nutrients together along with others in order to properly absorb and utilize iron, and for it not just to build up in your tissues where it essentially causes oxidative stress. So it is incredibly supportive for that. It's also really high in B vitamins, B12 in particular, and oftentimes people experience when they eat liver or take a liver supplement that they experience a burst of energy. Beef liver particularly has actually been coined nature's multivitamin because of its overall nutrient density. Now there are lots of ways that you can sneak this into your meals. If you like eating it outright, more power to you. Like I said, I do not. So if I want to include it in my meals, I actually grind it up, I portion it out. The recommended serving size is about 4 ounces per week. I do encourage you to kind of do your own research on this or talk to your practitioner about what would be best for you, but 4 ounces per week just to make sure that essentially you're not encountering too much vitamin A. That's not really an issue for most people, but it is something to be mindful of. So I will get it from my local co-op, and then I will grind it up and portion it into usually 8-ounce servings because I'll make it for my husband and me, and we'll try to eat this, my husband and myself, pardon me, and we'll try to eat this, once a week. Another way, of course, to get liver into your diet is going to be with something like this desiccated beef liver supplement. This one's from Perfect Supplements. Again, it's a brand I really trust. It is grass-fed and it is certified glyphosate-free, which is really important, especially when it comes to liver. And all you do, this is the powdered version. You can mix it into a smoothie and you really can't taste it. They have it dosed so that you can do like 1 or 2 scoops a day to get the recommended daily or recommended amount over the course of the week. But if you don't even want to fool with the powder, you can always use an encapsulated version and just take it like a pill. It's just that you have to take usually several of those pills in order to get the full amount if you're going for that. Number 4 is going to be raw dairy. Now I know there's a lot of controversy around this, and I'm not going to get into it except to say that historically speaking and today, when people have gotten sick from drinking raw milk, it is not from pasture-raised grass-fed cattle. And anybody who is going to be advocating for the consumption of raw milk is going to be advocating for it, certainly that I've heard, from grass-fed pastured cattle. And there's testing taking place, again, to make sure that this is safe to drink. People who have historically gotten sick from drinking raw milk, and the reason milk was even pasteurized to begin with, we're drinking it from cows that were in really close quarters, eating grain, not eating the diet the cows are supposed to be eating, and where there were a lot of pathogens present just from, again, those close quarters and unsanitary living conditions. If you want to learn more about this, I highly recommend you check out the book The Untold Story of Milk by Ron Schmid. I'm going to link that book below so you can check it out. But bottom line, raw dairy from grass-fed cattle is completely different from conventional dairy when it comes to nutrient composition and when it comes to enzymes present. It is something that has actually been utilized in therapeutic contexts over the course of many years, and really helped people in their healing journeys from different diseases. Even people who find that they can't consume conventional dairy, maybe they're lactose intolerant, for instance, can consume, oftentimes, not across the board, but oftentimes can consume raw dairy because it contains lactase and it contains the enzymes that you need in order to digest it. It is something that I truly consume every day. It is something that I believe has had a very tangible impact on my health as a whole. And I know that it can be hard to get your hands on and expensive, but if you are able to access it, I highly recommend making it a part of your diet. Of course, if you haven't been having dairy for a while, though, I do recommend starting slowly. And if you can't get raw milk, you can always look for raw milk cheeses, or again, a yogurt like this one could be a good way to still get some of those nutrients that are in dairy in a way that it is more digestible and less inflammatory than conventional dairy. Again, it's A2 milk, so it has proteins that are often going to bother people less than dairy that has more A1 protein in it from grass-fed cows, and it's the grass that's going to give you all of the nutrients that are so incredibly supportive. Number 5, and we're talking about carbohydrates with this one because just about everything else has been protein and fat related, are going to be quality roots and fruits. These are the sources from which I like to get most of my carbohydrates. Yes, I do eat grains. I like to eat sourdough bread. I like to eat rice. Yes, I do eat a diverse array of vegetables, even cruciferous vegetables, even dark leafy greens in moderation. There's a lot of nuance when it comes to that topic. I'm not one to take a dogmatic approach, but when it comes to the bulk of my carbohydrates, I really like to have high quality fruit and things like root vegetables, carrots, potatoes, beets, that type of thing on hand, because these really pack a punch when it comes to minerals, and are just so incredibly supportive for the body. And I just want to remind you guys that even this is a bell pepper. It's a fruit. It's a culinary vegetable, but it is still technically a fruit. So don't forget about things like cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, all of that fits into the picture. And I would just say as a whole, when you construct your meals of the staples that we've discussed today, when you use these high quality protein sources, raw dairy, organ meats, collagen, gelatin rich cuts, and then when you lean heavily on things like roots and fruits to compose your carbohydrate sources, you get so far in terms of nutrition. It's very basic, but it honestly takes you most of the way there. So if you're looking for next steps in terms of your diet, you're looking for a way to really kind of start prioritizing your metabolic health, I would encourage you to begin incorporating these foods into your diet, and just see how you're doing from there. Of course, if you're looking for more one-on-one support, I am accepting new clients at this time. You are welcome to check that out. My booking link is always in the description box below. Let me know if you have any questions based on this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, bye y'all.